Is the superintendent of Jackson Public Schools, Jeff Beal. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I am perfect. You know why? It's the last week of school.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
It is National Chocolate Ice Cream Day, and had we had ice cream right here, I'd be even better.
Well, we did. You just were...
I missed it.
Yeah, so everyone in the school community excited about the last week of school, for sure.
Well, remember, Hunt's got a little bit more. They got a couple more weeks left because they're on that balanced calendar. But yeah, no, final days of school, tomorrow and Friday, both half days for Jackson Public Schools. But we very much look forward to wrapping up the school year. I was over at Hunt today with third grade. And so I don't know if you know this, but in March is reading month, I go out and I read to kids, and I read all over the district, classrooms all over. But I always go in with a let's make a deal mentality. And I say, if I read to you, then at the end of the year, you have to read to me. And it gives me this ultimate ability that it's really fun, because I go in and the kids all come out and they each read a couple pages to me of whatever book they happen to be reading. But it gives me a very quick insight into how they do this year. How did they, are they readers? Are they ready? Do I need to put them into summer school, or do I need to talk to their teachers, see where their scores are at? And by and large, our third grade over at Hunt blew me away. I mean, there's a couple kids who should be in summer school who got a little bit of work to do, but the vast majority of the students, these kids pick it up and they're reading, flipping through. Are you guys like reading? Oh yeah. And it's a good time.
Good. You're not the one that decides. They're not being tested while they read to you, are they?
They don't know it yet. No, I don't actually decide. There's a whole host of stuff that goes into that, but I do like to have a real good handle on where are the kids at. And it was with kindergarten last week and first grade the week before that, and it's different classrooms throughout the district, but it allows teachers to talk to me about what's going on in their classroom, and gives me an opportunity to kind of interact with them. It's something I've done for years, but it's a really good way for me to connect with kids and kind of feel out where the teachers are working. So
yeah, well, superintendents should know that stuff. The graduation night was beautiful.
We could have asked for a better graduation night. I've been out there in rain. I've been out there in blistering heat. I've been out there in wind that blows everything away. And this was a beautiful night. I thought it was a great ceremony. I thought Aiden Silva came back and gave a really nice speech. Our valedictorians gave great speeches. I gave an appropriately brief speech that no one will need to remember, because nobody ever remembers the speech from next year. But we had a fabulous time. Aiden Silva came back, obviously a former valedictorian. He's done a lot of great things. He continues to be a very impressive young man. And I don't know if people know this, but we went back to our graduates. We started doing this probably 9-10 years ago, I guess, when I got here. Rather than trying to figure out who was going to be our commencement speaker, we wanted to have a former student, a JPS alumni, come back and really talk to our kids about where their paths are going to go, because this isn't somebody else that went to a different path. This is our kids, and we're showing them where they can go. But we had between, this was South Central Michigan Virtual, what's on the screen now, South Central Michigan Virtual, and Jackson Pathways. Holy smokes, did they pack the auditorium. I mean, it was the largest graduation experience there that we've seen. So a great time for those students, and then all of Jackson High down on Dungy Field at Withington Stadium.
The all-new Dungy Field.
So, yeah, it is all new. If you have not, we've been showing it off, and I know we'll talk about it here in a little bit with Field Day, but if you get down on that field, holy smokes, I will tell you, there are college campuses that are jealous right now of the field that our kids are going to get to play on.
Well, congratulations to the class of 23.
An absolutely really nice group of kids. These kids are brilliant. They're going to do some wonderful things. I am super excited to see where their paths will go.
Principal Pierce sending them off into the world. We're going to have a couple of J High students with us this summer on internship and job shadowing. So
yeah.
Field Day's going on still right now, I think.
I thought yesterday might have been our last
Okay.
one, but yeah, no. So you remember field day when you and I were kids, Bart?
Barely remember it.
It's so long ago, right? we ran across the playground and you did three-legged races and you did that kind of thing, and it has evolved over time. And we're not running across the playground that we used to run across now. We bring all the kids up to Withington Stadium. We take advantage of the full stadium, and they're actually now looking at how they want to use the Al Glick Athletic Center, and some of the things that might happen inside of there. But we call it Growing Vikings, because if you bring all of our kids from elementary school up and they get to see the facilities and they get to run around like their older siblings do on a Friday night, and there's a whole host of volunteers. High school students are out there doing things. There's food services out there feeding them. They get a real feel for this plaza that is Withington Stadium. It's a wonderful experience for our kids.
Yeah, so field day is, this year we had, we don't have any field day pics? Oh, all right, well, you picture what field day might have been like.
Well, what it's like is you've got parent volunteers, you've got all of the PE teachers are set up around Withington Stadium. The kids rotate through. There's music playing all the time up on the Jumbotron and images and whatnot, and you will work through a variety of stations, whether it's an inflatable station, whether it's the long jump station, whether it's the sharks and minnows station or the water relay station, and they just continue to kind of work through. And in the meantime, there's snacks and drinks and food, like I said, all done. It's a really great event. Takes about half the day for the kids. It's a nice way to wrap up the year.
Yep. And family picnic lunches along with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really, really good time, like I said.
Nice. All right, so the changing of the baton happening this year with the band, the last concert, and the last parade, the Rose Parade with Joel Shaner.
And what a great representation Jackson and I had at the Rose Parade. He's going to be one that's going to be missed. There's no doubt about it. He's a larger than life personality in our program, and our kids, they love him. And we've got, there you go. We love Papa Shea. That's the truth. The truth is he loved our program. He really worked hard to build our program up, and he was, truly instrumental in the lives of changing the lives or inspiring students, and that's what we want. We want people to build those relationships in a positive way, to give kids something to aspire or to be confident that they can move forward in. And we know that students who are in band do better in math, they do better in reading, and that translates into, pretty bright futures as a general rule. So obviously there's a lot to do academically in the band classes, and we're, you can walk into our elementary schools and participate in the band and the orchestra. They're down there doing that, and summer band is coming around the corner.
The Parkside, the middle school Parkside band, I thought was stunning in the Rose Parade. Mm-hmm. They were unbelievable. What was the song they were playing right in front of us? I can't remember, but it was the music and the choreography. It was awesome. Check it out on the weekend broadcast.
Well, and when Jillian Rowe comes in, again, Jillian is going to be taking over for Joel. She is going to do some wonderful things for Jackson Public Schools. I have no doubt about it. We went through this huge interview process that included some classroom instruction. Like literally all the candidates that we had moved forward went in and taught with the kids, and we got the feedback of the students, and you could see the interaction. Like, you want to know who owns a classroom? Wait do you see it? The thoughts and ideas that are coming, and I think that gives Joel something. We always want somebody who's going to take the program to that next step, and it's hard to think about that in terms of what Mr. Shaner has brought to us, and that's what we were looking for. Somebody who says, I have greater things in mind.
The week ends with a staff picnic.
Yeah. We do a back-to-school bash for our staff, and we do an end-of-the-year wrap-up picnic with our staff. a lot of folks don't realize we employ 1,000 people plus or minus. And from, everybody thinks of teachers and principals or superintendents when they think of the school, but what we really, you think about cafeteria and custodial and bus drivers and paras and TAs and secretaries and grounds crew and 142 other people you don't ever even come into contact with. The school is so big behind the scenes that we focus all of our attention on what happens in the classroom or what happens with those kids, but there's an army of people making certain that can happen.
Yeah.
And we desperately want to say thank you. It's not just that. We work very hard to make certain that all of our staff feel part of that Viking family. We talked about graduation earlier. You had all the wonderful events. What you missed, and what I should have led with everybody, is the army of people that was there from the minute the sun was shining that day, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, down on the field setting up, the tech that came in to do the speakers and so on, to the minute the graduates were off, they're out there putting chairs away and they're out there tearing it down. Those are the pieces that really go into making Jackson Public Schools great. We are, where community comes together because of this family that's just 1,000 people strong, and we say thank you. So tomorrow there'll be prizes, there'll be games. We've got a lot of community support from businesses that have donated, and so I want to say thank you if you are sponsoring or donating to Jackson Public Schools to support this event. It's going to the teachers tomorrow. It's a great event. We'll have food trucks. Speaking of food trucks, we'll have food trucks on site. So cafeteria workers and everybody just gets to show up and have a good time.
Awesome.
I'll make an appropriate 2-minute speech that no one will remember next year. I always make a joke about it. I really do. But the truth is, we have a good time. I said this a couple of years ago, and it truly rings true. We will see teachers and paras and employees who will run into somebody that they worked with 5-10 years ago at a different building, and life just has a way of moving them from building to building, and they'll be sitting at the same table catching up and laughing. It's like a family reunion. It really is.
Well, have a good time, and congratulations on a great year to the whole team at JPS. The summer doesn't bring an end to a number of things, including summer school and food service. You keep feeding the kids year-round.
Yes, we do. The Chow Bus will be out and about. I think you see that up on your screen. And we will do meet up and eat up. Certainly, that is, you'll see, I think there are 30 sites or plus or minus. He's got tons of them. And the times when we will be in those areas for folks to be able to come up and grab some food. It's an awesome opportunity. And we are running some summer school classes this year at all grade levels. So if your student is struggling to read, or if your teacher has not reached out, these are certainly programs that are free to JPS students. And so we're hoping to get them in really to avoid some of that summer slide, or in some cases to kind of pick up where life might have happened and they might have missed a little. So.
All right, and I think we're going to go along on the Chow Bus one day this summer to check it out and bring you along with us.
I'd love to. I'd love to. The Chow Bus is fun. You got to work it though, right? I mean, this is a cafeteria on wheels. It is our food truck, if you will. You show up and they've got food, and you get on the bus, and the seats are all torn out and it's set up like a cafeteria style, and so it's a wonderful idea just to change how we do food, right? Again, instead of worrying about, can I get kids to come to the site where the meals might be, let's bring the bus out and we're going to do.
I'll drive.
All right, let's not go that far.
All right, well, have a great summer, and I know we'll be catching up over the next few months. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Jackson Public Schools Superintendent Jeff Beal. Up next on